welcome to the Clashing of Steel.
So today I'm gonna talk about offense. In short, every action we do when we go offensive is meant to weaken opponents or, well, beat your opponents in general. From base capture to annihilating troops. Offense is a rather wide form of actions, to be honest. You can go rushing for your opponent's base, all troops massing them in a huge blob, which I really don't suggest doing. Or it can be tactical offense, which means you'll go offensive to a certain extent, see what you're facing, either face them in key locations where you can hold, where you can manage, or maybe if there aren't anyone, you can switch to more aggressive offense, or if there are too many opponents or easy counters for you, you might want to switch to defense, because pure offense rarely is useful. Usually when I go offensive, I use some form of defense as well. As an example, I push to an extent when opponents want to push back, and then I'm gonna use preferable defensive location to counter that push, so to say. But well, since I'm playing Sulla, I prefer to stay close to ranged units, because I have no form of missile block. I mean, I do have missile block, but I don't have any abilities that will block out massive amount of missiles. So it is better if I stay near someone who can use their ranged weapons to either harass opponents or defend me from other ranged units, counteract them, so to say. And as I usually like to do, I have spread my sword unit. I have sent 2 with the archers and 1 here near the base just to support my friendlies and deal with annoyances. With Sulla I think it is a great option because your proscription just weakens opponents massively. At least it is great to see that most of my team members still run from the elephants, because these elephants would have a field day here. Fortunately, those 2 elephants back there are just standing, so we do have some time and chance to deal with the single elephant. So this is where offense gets interesting. I'm here to defend with the pikemen these ranged units. I am defending the ranged units in offense, of course. I'm not going fully offensive, because if ranged units are left undefended, the horsemen will kill them, and locations where they could be very useful might be now turned against us. Here it is always great to see that the horsemen want to go after ranged units. They actually made a mistake back there. They simply crashed into it and tried to run through, and that is why I am countering them. As you saw, I didn't attack them straight away. I tried to run through them, and perhaps so far that my troops would surround them. So instead of attacking from one direction, my troops would attack from several at the same time, creating a moment where that unit would take massive damage from all different sides and lose a lot of its HP. Offense from tactical perspective is not just the full aggression. We went offensive and built ourselves a little nice base here. It is rather defendable as long as the pikemen keep their eyes open. I built these stakes here just to cover my sides. If you are to be defensive with Romans, it is usually great if your infantry has stakes or something that they can use to counter heavy attacks. Because if opponents have to attack you through your stakes, it will be several times harder for them if you stack your units upon it and don't let them be destroyed without forcing opponents to take massive casualties. And here I have nothing more to do at the base. I'm just defending against elephants. That's what I've been doing the whole match. And with my other 2, I've been trying to defend the ranged units in our offensive position. Offense can be combined with defense. This is just the clearest example of it. Defending archers in a preferable location. Horsemen have tried to assault this place several times and it has never worked for them. This is the great thing about defending your ranged units. If opponents are too desperate and naive, they will make some sort of a narrow-minded mistake that you can use against them. Their first mistake was not to check if there was anything in the bushes, so they just instantly charged into it. What actually surprised me is that the spearmen went around us and didn't try to flank us. They could have probably forced me to defend in a rather nasty location after I had to deal with the horsemen. But at least it was interesting to see horsemen try. This here was the broadest mistake. 2 units stack charging into front of pikemen. Why would they even try that? And these 3 spearmen that were at my base, those were the ones who could have flanked us. They could have forced us. It might have been actually rather hard to manage against them. Or it would have been almost as nasty if they would have waited for us to come out of our comfort zone. Offense has a wide meaning. It is usually best if you combine offense and defense both together. Usually when you go offensive, you'll reach a destination or location where opponents don't want you at. So they will try either to push you back or destroy you. But if you can stay at that location and force them to deal with you, and can turn the terms of the engagement or location of the engagement to your advantage, you might actually have a chance to flip it on your opponents. But if you go offensive and no one deals with you or is noticing or caring about you, that means you have a rather great chance to be very aggressive in your offense. You can either go to the support of your team members, or you can try and rush it, or create even more confusion by just forcing in certain locations by the numbers. Usually my preference, if I can, is to go offensive, turn it into a defensive battle, and then just mess with your opponents. If you have ranged troops, that is a hell of a game changer. Still, most tactics require teamwork, so don't be surprised if your team members have no clue of what they are doing. But okay, let's head over to the scoreboard. I've been playing with elephants long enough. So, as we can see, I am the 3rd best in my team. I did some capture, well, most of it was capture. I did some offense and some support slightly. The best player in my team, of course, were the ranged units, and they mostly earned their points off of the capture as well. Opposing Alexander and Arminius tried to take us down in our little bunker in the bushes, but they failed rather hard. At least they did earn some score and are average in their team. The biggest annoyance, of course, were the elephants, who earned a lot of defense score, mostly from the damage they took. And that is why they are the 2nd best in the opposing team. And of course the opposing best player is just a turtle. Just look at the defense score. Basically nothing more, and he just defended, did slight decapture off of me, and mostly nothing more. How I hate that Testudo. I mean, I have nothing against it, but the amount of score they can earn with it is just ridiculous. And of course, the spearmen who could have made all the difference were the worst Miltiades player in the opposing team, or the worst spearman player. They were the ones who just rushed through the middle after we had gone and taken the opposing bush, and God knows what else they were thinking. They are the ones who could have made a lot of difference, and yet they did basically nothing. Offense is a wide aspect. It can have a rather wider meaning than many players can comprehend. This here is just one example of offense combined with defense. There is pure offense and several other ways one can just force opponents. This is also one of my preferred offenses, so this game was rather enjoyable. But anyways, don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.